In yet another fascinating twist in the investigation, the wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice is now set to appear before the January 6th committee. What will Ginni Thomas have to say about her alleged role in a plot to overturn the 2020 presidential election? For a while, it looked like 1-6 members weren't actually interested in compelling her testimony, even though there's evidence of emails with Trump lawyer John Eastman regarding his fake electors scheme. And we know she exchanged messages with then Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows prior to January 6th about overturning the election. For more, let's bring in NBC's Ali Vitale and Jackie Alemany, congressional investigations reporter for The Washington Post. I mean, Ali, look, it's easy in the avalanche of broken norms to think, OK, this is regular, but this is very far from Supreme Court norms for sure. And not only is Ginni Thomas the wife of a justice, she's been publicly critical of the committee. I think it called for Republicans to basically get kicked out of the party. And yet she's coming in voluntarily. What do we know about how we got to this point, and what does the committee hope they can get from her?
Well, Chris, you're absolutely right to point out how far from the norm we are here. But isn't that really the story of the entire January 6th committee? And of course, the day that spurred them into having anything to investigate in the first place. The fact, though, that Ginni Thomas is coming in voluntarily does mean that the committee wanted to speak to her, but did not want to go so far as to have to subpoena her. This is the result of months of conversations between her legal team and the committee themselves. And you pointed out the conversations that she was having with people like the architect of the fake electors scheme and the person who had the plan of how they could overturn the election results, John Eastman, who you see on your screen. The fact that she was in conversation with him, that there are emails about her trying to help push the fake electors scheme, all of that speaks to things that the committee has already presented, but that she could shed new light on. And so it again presents the idea that even as this committee is about to come back in session next week for another public hearing where we're told we're going to see and hear things that they have not yet presented, so there will be new information here, they're also still actively fact gathering. And all of that speaks to where they will ultimately go, which is the thing that Chairman Thompson regularly mentions to those of us who are in the halls of Congress, is that final report. We still expect, Chris, that we're going to see from this committee an interim report sometime in October and then a final report sometime towards the end of the year, even as they still are grappling with big questions, not just about Ginni Thomas, but also about the Republican members of Congress who are defying their subpoenas, and of course, whether or not this committee is going to try to speak to Trump or Pence themselves. Big questions looming even as they come back into the public spotlight next week.